It was 7th grade, and I got my first girlfriend.
After she was my first girlfriend.
Let's talk about that.
Hi, I'm Luke, from Oxford. Good, mythical morning.
Good mythical morning.
This episode is brought to you by iBackwards.com. It's the amazing application on your iPhone. Record something, it makes it backwards and makes it easy to put it on YouTube.
I love doing things backwards. It's so regressive.
Recently on Good Mythical Morning, we discussed Leslie, your first girlfriend, and the whole experience of that.
Yep.
And now it's time for me to talk about my first girlfriend, Leslie, and the whole experience with that.
Take the floor.
Okay, so the end of 6th grade, we established you guys broke up, and then it was summertime when
Heartbroken.
it took you all summer to recover, and then I had made up my mind the moment I heard that Rhett, my friend, had a girlfriend, that now I needed to get a girlfriend, and it might as well be Leslie, because not only is she pretty, but, well, she was my best friend's girlfriend, so, I mean, that, if good enough for him, good enough for me kind of thing. Seemed like that was a good thing to do. But I couldn't do it over the summer because I, too, did not go to the Lillington pool. I didn't live in Lillington. I lived in Bowie's Creek. Why did she come to Bowie's Creek School? She should have gone to Lillington, by the way. That's interesting.
Because I think her parents thought properly that Bowie's Creek was a better school. The smarter kids went there.
I think that was the case. I mean, I went there.
Yeah.
So 7th grade rolls around, and I mean, I don't remember a lot about everything that happened, but I do remember that even though I was poised to have a girlfriend and that I decided that I did like Leslie, that I took no initiative.
Well, that's why I've had this skeptical look on my face for the past minute, Link, as you talk about your...
I didn't approach her.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't the hunter and the hunted.
No, I'm not like that. She asked to go with me. And I guess that's a bragging point.
Well,
Hey,
I mean,
she asked to go with me, not directly, of course. I don't remember this part, but I'm pretty sure she probably went through Amber.
Oh, of course she did. Yeah.
I mean, it was after all still middle school, so
yeah. You can't
she
speak
needed
directly
the
to someone.
intermediary,
Right.
And I mean, it was an easy yes. I mean,
Of course, you got to say yes to Leslie.
Well, finally, she's asking me to ask her to be my girlfriend.
Now, let me quickly give you my perspective on this, because I have a theory, and I've held this theory for quite some time.
Okay.
Since middle school.
Okay.
And that is, I recall that year in particular, 7th grade, suddenly, out of nowhere, all the ladies being into you. I specifically remember.
Is the cologne.
And I was just like, what has happened?
Got something in my Christmas stocking.
What has happened? Because we've been best friends for a long time. You know, I obviously, as we've established in previous episodes, was already interested in ladies and
90% of your thought
pursuing
process.
ladies, being successful some portion of the time. But I remember, we used to be ball boys for Campbell University's soccer team.
The local college team. They were a good soccer team.
Very good.
Me, you, and Michael Juby. You were a basketball boy or whatever they're called. So you kind of moved over from there, but I was only into soccer. Yeah. I consider myself a celebrity amongst the college.
And I remember we were sitting there on the sidelines, me and you and Michael Juby, all on one sideline. And I was looking up in the stands, and at this time you were going with Leslie. And of course, I was still heartbroken. And I was looking up there at her, and she was looking at you. And I just started looking back. I was like,
you wanted to kill me?
No. I was analyzing. You're my friend. I was happy for you.
Okay.
It's like, what is it? And then I realized.
What do you mean, what is it? Wasn't it obvious?
No, because it was so sudden. And then I realized it was, you lost your baby fat.
Okay.
And I have some evidence here. If you go back and look at your school pictures from pre-middle school to middle school, the cheeks, there was at least a 40% decrease in the size of your face in general and the shape of your face. And suddenly,
I turned the corner.
Ladies were just going crazy.
But the thing I remember is not knowing at all what to do and like being really timid about, I got a girlfriend now. I don't even think I told anybody. And you probably found out through the girls.
Well, I couldn't have told you what to do because you know about my history with Leslie.
Even that I was in a relationship and my status had changed. I don't even know if I was going to talk about that. But I remember we had been going together for a while, and then one day Leslie comes up to me. I was like, "Ooh, my girlfriend's coming up."
This doesn't happen regularly.
Yeah. And I remember she said, "Why don't you call me?" And it was at that moment that I realized, I guess I should call her.
Yeah. Why don't you call her?
And I'm like, on the phone? And I'm like,
From a distance.
Leslie! And I remember being immediately like sweating and thinking about it. And so that night, I was like, oh, I remember looking at the phone. And this is one of those phones that like plugs into the wall. We didn't even have phones with the not much less cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember thinking I had to call it. And the difficult thing at this point in time, kids these days, they get cellular telephones or a mobile phone, whatever you want to call it, kids, when you're in kindergarten.
Kids.
But back when I was a kid, you had to look at that phone, stare at it, decide to pick it up, dial numbers, and know that a parent was going to be on the other end of that line.
Gatekeeper.
I was going to call Leslie, but her dad was going to answer the phone. Cecil was going to answer the phone.
Yeah, he was. He's a nice guy, but he's still the dad of a girl, so that's intimidating.
Yeah, and I just remember, hello? This week, Leslie? I just remember, it's like, what's the fewest amount of words in like the most undertoned way I could say, can I speak to Leslie? He's like, is this Link? I was like, oh, he's heard about me.
Well, now,
like,
first
yes,
of all,
sir, yes, sir.
As a parent of a girl who's going to get calls at some point.
I'm going to be answering that
But
phone.
don't you think there was a little bit of a little bit of a, they were playing a game. Cecil's good natured. He's thinking, I'm gonna give this boy a hard time.
I'm sure they were staving off laughter. It's like, I just seem so.
But you couldn't send him a text message. You couldn't go online. You couldn't go through the community and send him a little message in the chat room. You had to go through the gatekeeper.
Yeah,
you had to go
great.
through the parents. And
As
you
a
might
parent,
get the dad and you might
great.
get the mom. You wanted to get the mom because the mom was like, okay, this
Sweeter.
And the dad was like, I'm gonna bust his balls a little bit.
So Leslie gets on the phone, and at that point I realize I have no idea how to carry on a phone conversation with it.
Had you thought about it at all?
No, I hadn't thought about it ahead of time. I didn't think I was going to get past Cecil. I thought it was just going to be a fail. I could go to school the next day and be like, I called you, but
your dad didn't let me
answered.
through.
I probably called 3 times and hung up. He knew it was me or something. And she gets on the phone. She's like, "Hey," and I'm like, I gotta come up with something off the top of my head. So I just went with the classic. What are you doing? She's like, Nothing. Nothing. What are you doing? I'm like, oh my goodness, it's back on me already. I'm like, nothing. I'm literally doing nothing. I'm like
calling you.
I'm talking to you on the phone. That's what you wanted. Can you take it from here?
You thought because she led you here, she was going to keep leading
she's like,
you.
Why don't you call me?
Now you talk to me about. Tell me what to talk about.
You're a girl. You're good at talking. And so I was like, nothing. And she was like, okay. And I was like, it was just like in the desert of conversation. And so it was like awkward silence. And then I was like, okay, see you tomorrow. And I hung up the phone. And I was like, that was good, right? It was something. It was progress. I made it past the gatekeeper. I go to school the next day.
There's a song about this, by the way. That can you download this on iTunes?
I think it is on iTunes, the Middle School Girlfriend song, where we both talk about our experiences with this. And part of this is in there.
Yeah.
I can't remember how much. It's been a long time since I've heard the song. But I realized, okay, I got to do better than that. I remember developing a system, and I was going to call her. I waited a few nights, get up the courage, got past Cecil, got her on the phone again, and I decided I was going to write down physically on a sheet of paper the things that I was going to talk about.
An outline. This is good.
So I wrote down 1. What are you doing? It wasn't bad.
It's a good place to start.
It's a good place to start. And then I was like, 2. Done your homework yet?
Because she probably hasn't. Or maybe she has.
And that could lead to things.
There's an answer there, right.
Do you need help with your homework? I could be like your tutor / boyfriend.
Okay.
You wouldn't even have to pay a tutor. It's like 2 for 1.
Yeah, that's good.
And then 3, I think I wrote, what are you doing this weekend?
That sounds like you're asking her out on a date, though.
Oh, well, I didn't think about that. I just thought, if she's not doing anything now and she's not having homework. So I get her on the phone. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, nothing. I'm like, oh, gosh, what are you doing? I'm still not doing anything. And I'm like, well, have you done your homework? How's that going? Okay. Yeah, it was tough. Yeah, I finished mine too. And then all of a sudden, it's like a few seconds into it, I'm already into the weekend. She doesn't have plans. I don't have a car.
And she's not asking you questions back?
I can't ask her on a date. No, she's just, I don't know. Maybe you're saying it's her fault?
No, it's your fault. But it's a two-way conversation.
So I'm through my questions. I should have come up with 45 questions at that rate. 15 seconds, I was at, okay, see you tomorrow again.
Yeah, well, I'll
Hanging up the
I'll tell
phone.
you, in a subsequent episode, I can tell you I use Link's method with Amber, my next
Yeah,
girlfriend.
let's talk about it. All right, but here's the last thing. So how did this all end? I remember one day we're in class or somewhere and she's doodling and I look over and she's doing what girls do. They like write their name and
Put a heart over the eye.
right. Leslie, you know, dotting the I with a heart.
good.
Leslie Peebles, her last name's Peebles, so she write Leslie Peebles. Then all of a sudden I realized she was writing Tyler. Leslie Peebles, Tyler, Leslie. You know, it's just all over the sheet of paper. And
Well,
I'm thinking, Tyler.
And to stop for a second, because this is, as we established before, I got dumped. I got dumped for Tyler Hamilton.
over the summer who went to her pool in Lillington. And I'm like, she is pining for Tyler. She wants to get back with
And
him.
she's writing it.
Right in front of me. I remember thinking, oh my goodness, don't you see? I didn't say anything. I was like, don't you see that I'm right here and you're writing?
And your
basically-
trapper keeper right there
Yeah,
in front of me.
she's like, at least cover it up or something. I can see this. And I'm just crushed. And I went to you, right?
I recall this. You come to me and you're like, listen.
I don't remember this part exactly.
This is vivid in my mind. You come to me and you're like, listen, I've got a problem with Leslie. She, in broad daylight, right in front of me, I was next to her, sitting next to her, and in her trapper keeper, on one of the pages, she was writing Leslie, then Tyler, then Peebles. Leslie, Tyler, Peebles.
Yeah, like what?
you were like-
She's gonna get engaged and then to him, but then keep her last name.
Take his first name and then keep. I don't think that's how it works.
I mean,
But at that point, I said, Link. Her name is Leslie Tyler Peebles. That's her name. That's her middle name is Tyler.
middle name is Tyler.
And he was like, oh.
But it wasn't long after that I did get the phone call, probably through Amber. I can't remember that. Just like with you, I was dumped, and I can't help but believe that I could not let go of the fact that I still somehow believed that she was in love with Tyler Hamilton because her middle name happened to also be Tyler.
I think the bottom line
I
is
screwed it up at every
could,
turn.
Leslie could go with anybody she wanted to go with, and she just chewed men up and spit them out. Both of us.
Look at us, people. Spat out. Let's end this episode. I think, can you learn something from this?
Well, I think I've established already. If you've got baby fat and you're in the process of losing it,
There's hope.
You're on a good course.
And communication is the key to
And
a
you
good
should know
relationship.
the girl's middle name.
Yeah.
You should know the girl's middle name.
Oh my goodness, we have hit another secret spot,
Hold on,
even
first
though we
of-
reduced it.
First of all, we went down to 2, so this wouldn't happen. And we, ladies and gentlemen, have hit another
3 in a
secret
row.
spot.
Woo! Here we go.
You know what? This is all you people complaining about not hitting secret spots. We've hit 3 in a row. This isn't even fun anymore.
Hug a stranger.
We hit a secret spot on the wheel and we have to hug some strangers. You willing to hug a stranger?
You hit a secret spot on a wheel?
Yes, the blue one.
The blue spot.
What's your name?
What are you talking about?
What's your name?
Sid.
Sid.
We have a wheel of mythicality. We spin it, and when it tells us to do something, we have to go do it. And it landed on a blue spot that said "Hug a stranger."
Okay, come on, hug it up.
All right. Coming in here, Link.
You're kind of wet. Have you been swimming or something?
Swimming?
Yeah, sure.
You got some kind of special board. You're a big guy too. You're almost as big as me.
You guys are tripping me the out.